We are so excited to be back. The recap show. Here we are. And we're going to kick off today's conversation with the daily discussion. And Tobin and I thought it would be a nice start to share a little bit about our healing journey, our recovery, and give an update.
Did we?
Well, at least I did.
Okay.
There's a lot of milestones that happen along the way. June 11th is the 2-year anniversary of when I actually tore my ACL.
Wow.
And there haven't been that many moments where I had the opportunity to actually celebrate with the fans in my community. And it feels like getting back into training, even though I'm just going to do a passing pattern and a warm-up, is a moment that we all get to celebrate together. So I am grateful for all of the support that everybody's had along the way. And the reason that Tobin has gone so quiet so far on this daily discussion is because we did agree, despite whatever she tells you, we did agree that actually the topic of this daily discussion was going to be her recovery, which feels incredibly special to me because I get to know everything that goes on with this one, but she very rarely shares it with the world. And we have been on a recovery journey at the same time. And we've gone through a lot at the same time. And this is going to be a moment for you to connect with everybody about what's going on.
So excited.
Are you getting emotional already?
No, that was just really nice.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw some tears, folks. I was like, we haven't even started. Okay, so will you share with everybody the first time that you had to deal with any piece of the injury that you currently have?
Yeah, I think, injury's obviously a part of our sport. I think you were probably the only athlete that I knew that hadn't been injured until you tore your ACL, which was, extraordinary. But that's definitely not anything new to my career. Going through injury, obviously you play hard, you break your body, you get back up.
Yep.
You play hard again. And that's actually kind of an exciting part of sports too. It's kind of like the bumps along the way, and I think they're real character tests. But back to your question, yeah, it was actually when we were preparing for the Olympics, which was 2021.
Oh my gosh, wrong Olympics. Jeez. Sorry, start that one again.
Yeah, when we were preparing for the Olympics, which obviously were the COVID Olympics, so they were a year later than they should have been. I picked up a injury that seemed honestly like absolutely nothing to me. And
tell us about what happened.
Yeah, I was like doing a very like innocuous, I don't know if that's the right word, kind of thing in football.
Just passing pattern.
Just, simple passing pattern type thing. Didn't think anything of it, but felt like a slight pinch in my knee. And then, got in the car to drive home. And when I got home, like my knee was swollen. And that was the first time in my life that I had ever had swelling in my knee. I'm more of like an ankle injury person. And so obviously there was a red flag and I was like, this is weird. I should probably get checked out.
Yep. And you thought at that time it was just a little thing. And then I remember very clearly you got a call.
Yeah. After I obviously got a scan and had the doctors check me out, I got a call from our team doctor at that time. And they said, I'm so sorry to tell you this, but you have a career-ending injury.
And what was that injury?
It's kind of a confusing injury because, well, it was a cartilage injury.
Mm-hmm.
I had basically like created a hole in my cartilage. For those that don't know, like cartilage isn't something that you can repair yet. I believe that there will be a time when we can. And obviously being at that time in my 30s, as an athlete, it's very different than when, an 18-year-old athlete hears something like this, because there are alternative things that you can do that are very extreme, that take a lot of time, and you need a lot of kind of growth to be able to, heal. I wouldn't even say heal because it won't heal, but in order to manage what's ahead.
And I won't even ask what it felt like to be told out of nowhere that you had a career-ending injury, because I think it's kind of obvious how that would feel. But it was like 0 to 100. And in a crazy, crazy turn of events, you then got a second opinion.
Yeah. So obviously my initial thought was like, oh man, like I'm not, there goes my Olympic dream. You know, that was kind of like my only thought. I was like, you know, I'll figure this out. I need time, obviously, for something like this, but there goes my Olympic dream. So that obviously, like, you kind of like mourn that, you know, but I think I even remember saying to you before I even got the like multiple other opinions, I remember saying to you, like, I'm going to be the best player at the World Cup.
Yeah, you did say that.
And it kind of like gave me like a little bit of space. And it's typical of me, like, don't like think about this moment, just think about
the future
and what you want that to look like.
Very Seven of you. Yes.
You know, but then obviously I saw a few more doctors, and they said this is something that you can try to manage yourself. You know, there's obviously like you can just try like very like intense rehab at first, you know, shut down intense rehab if you want to like try to make a go of this on your own. And then, you know, there were alternatives from, you know, small surgeries to very large and extreme surgeries. And obviously, like the way that I've always gone in my career is let's let my body try to do as much work as it can. You know, I believe in my body's ability to heal on its own. And I really, somebody gave me hope that I could make the Olympics. So I said, look, I'd love to go for it, you know? Actually, I didn't say that. I think I had to be a little convinced of it because it was a very tight timeline, and I truly believe that I wouldn't have been able to do it.
Yeah, I think we should pause there.
Yeah.
Because I remember this is very actually interesting, and it was when I started to see how you and I were a little bit different in terms of our mentality, even though we have so much in common. I remember when we were having conversations about whether or not you could try for the Olympics, I thought you absolutely go for it. No reason not to. You try.
Yeah.
And you thought, I only want to do it if I can do it and be the way that I need to be.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, there's always been this part of my career that I have just like such a high level that I hold myself to in terms of football. Like, I didn't want to like just go to the Olympics, you know, like I wanted to go to the Olympics and I wanted to be the type of player. I wanted to play the type of football that I believe is within me, and I wanted to win another Olympic gold medal. Like that, those are my standards. So like if there was any possibility that I wasn't going to be able to get to that level at that time, in my mind, I'm like, no, like I don't want to do it. I'd rather just focus on giving myself a little bit more time thinking about the World Cup and working towards that.
Yeah, and it's like, it's such a beautiful perspective because through it all, you can actually think of the team and you can think of others and you can think of the game of football. And with myself, I only thought about what value you could get. I said to you, try and fail, because what a more beautiful story, there couldn't be a more beautiful opportunity to learn than if you give it your all and you don't make it. I could only see the value for you.
Yeah.
And you can always hold the value for the game and for your team and for the sport and like how you want to leave it at the same time.
Yeah, no, I think that was a new introduction to this whole thing was that.
Yeah.
Was that idea of trying, and it's not something that I was necessarily comfortable with, but I got on board with it, and yeah.
Well, let's see. So what happens here, folks? What happens next
is we have 5 minutes to get to the good juicy bits.
No, we have, okay, what happens next is we have Tobin makes the Olympics. She starts, I think, the first 4 games of the Olympics that we played. And you seemed to be fine. Your knees seemed to be fine. And we go on to win bronze. And only after that, at the end of the summer, you start to experience knee pain again. And to kind of fast forward to the current moment, like how I would categorize this is just like up and down with your knee. It's a tolerance thing. It's knee cartilage
Yeah.
damage?
Honestly, it was terrible. It's the worst version of football, I think, like in my mind, that can ever be. Like I play football to play football. Like I play for the joy of it. Like I don't play to like be getting shots in my knee, to be having to take medicine, to be not having to be managed through training just to be able to get to a game. Like that's not why I play football. And this got into like a spiral of, you know, just trying to manage an injury to be able to play instead of just being able to play.
Yeah, I remember that time.
It sucked the soul out of me. Like it literally sucked the soul out of football for me.
And you had 2 surgeries.
Yeah. So then, obviously I went to Arsenal, and wasn't able to like get back to where like I need to be. I spent a lot of time on the sidelines there. I was obviously far from home. I really think I made the most of that because it was also like kind of a childhood dream to play there. So there was kind of mixed feelings about it. But ultimately, like I was very, you know, I had lost a lot of joy in football because the football wasn't actually there. And then came home and continued to try to manage this injury. And got to the point where like I obviously couldn't continue on with the knee that I currently had. Yeah, a lot of people have heard about your 4 surgeries, but within our household, we actually had 6 knee surgeries, which is kind of insane.
And countless injections.
And a lot of, you know, taking care of folks. I think it was public when I got my first knee surgery, which was actually just kind of like a clean out of the knee. Let's see if we can, you know, try to make the environment within my knee a little bit better, do the least. I ended up trying to rehab back for about a year and got pretty close. Thought about signing for a team at that time. Didn't think I was there enough with the knee to be able to commit fully to a team because the way I play football is I'm all in. Like I play to be at the highest level. I play to be winning World Cups, Olympics, like championships, club championships. Like that's the way I play football. And if I can't get there physically, like to just a baseline where I feel like I can get on a path to doing those things, like I'm not ready to commit yet. And then obviously with that first surgery not helping, I got a second actually pretty big surgery with my knee that then put me in kind of the category of like, will I ever play professionally again?
And what do you want to talk about that surgery?
Yeah, it was a bit of a traumatizing experience, honestly.
You were certainly traumatized.
Yeah.
Sorry, that sounds really insensitive because you guys don't know the story yet, but
yeah,
it's coming.
I mean, I went into this surgery thinking like I knew I was going to have to get something that was on the newer side of like cartilage, like all these things. I had to go to the best doctor. I had to figure out like what the best procedure would be for me. And a lot of that was just like a lot of trust in a lot of new things. And I feel a little bit like a guinea pig in some ways.
Yeah.
But that's at what point I was at and what I would have to do, honestly, to be able to think about playing football again, but also just to live the lifestyle I wanted to live again,
Yes.
which is another conversation. And when I got there, I thought I was going to be getting kind of like a smaller version of a surgery. And right before I got into surgery, there was kind of a big revelation about the current state of my knee that put me in a category to get a serious knee surgery. It was a cartilage transplant. I'm very grateful for the donor that gave me a baby cartilage in my knee. And right now I'm in the process of rehabbing that. I rehab, 4 days a week, over 3 hours a week. I do countless amount of 3 hours a day. I do countless amounts of therapies, modalities, rehab. Like I'm in the gym every day. It's not something obviously I'm public about. I've never been public about like, this is how hard I work. Like I'm amazing. Like I think that's weird.
Okay, wait, I'm stopping you right there because you have never been public about how amazing you are, sure, but you really do encourage me to share about everything I'm doing, including having me make hype videos every week for our membership. So please explain, riddle me this.
I mean, I think I think you have to be true to you, right? Like,
do you think I'm a narcissist that should be posting everything I do?
No, I actually think that you are somebody that is very vulnerable, and you like being vulnerable, and you like sharing your feelings, and it's actually a superpower that you have. And it's something that connects. Honestly, the world's connected to you through it because you're willing to be really brave and vulnerable. And I think you actually do a really great job being transparent about your life and bringing people in. That is not a strength of mine. I'm not trying to make it a strength of mine.
But you know what is a strength of yours? Knowing to be true to yourself no matter what. And now I get it. Now I get why you tell me to make hype videos every week and you say nothing.
And I love your videos. It's my favorite thing.
Okay, well, before we wrap up, I just want to ask a couple more things. Where are you right now?
Right now I'm in the studio shooting the recap show.
Okay,
I just kidding.
Answer again. What do you want to happen? What's going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of just like pray to God and say like whatever your will is for my career, that's like what it's going to be, and like I'll just like work my ass off and see where that gets. So
is that
there's
scary?
Yeah, of course. Like, yeah.
And say one. What has been the gift of it?
Yeah, the gift has been like honestly the realization like I am a 7, so like I live in the future of all these things.
An Enneagram 7.
Yeah, and I love the number 7. But basically the greatest gift is that like football, no matter if like is a gift in itself, like not just the ability to play, but like the game itself. And I'm like so blessed to have had the career that I have, and like whatever's in the future is just like honestly like I just be so thrilled about it. But at the same time I find what's next, and I know I'll always be involved in football in some way, but I have so many passions. Like there's so many things that I want to do, and like part of it is like I hope that I reimagine the game of football like through playing, and there's a lot of other things in the world, especially with this company and what we're doing, and having a vehicle of reimagination like this, disrupting media. All these things are a part of I think a larger plan. I think people think that it's like the end of something, but I always believed that like Anson said, you live your life on a never-ending ascension, and I truly believe that it's your career is like your life body of work. It's not just like a small time period, and I feel like I'm just getting started.
Yeah, you always said that. It seemed like football was the end of it, but it's actually just the stepping stone to the thing that's going to be the end of it.
Yeah.
And for all of you out there, you might not know, but in the Chinese zodiac, it is the year of the dragon. And Tobin and I are both earth dragons, which does happen to be the most powerful animal in the Chinese zodiac. And some people think that, and I know I've been saying this again and again, and Tobin actually hates it because you'll see why. In the actual year of the dragon, people think that you're going to have a great year, but it's actually the year where everything gets uncovered and the dust is up in the air. And I have got to see firsthand you navigating such treacherous territory, holding so much in your heart with who you are and who you want to be, stepping up as the leader of the business, starting a media division, pursuing your dreams, in relationship with football in new ways, finding new paths, never giving up, and pushing yourself to new limits. And I think just you having this conversation today is a testament to that. And I'm sure the community is going to be very grateful.
Thanks.
Yep.